What's going on, everyone? My name's Tyler Rainville. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be mostly doing automotive videos, probably some skateboarding, photography stuff in there as well, along with detailing to go kind of along with the automotive portion. This is kind of the first video I've done with me directly speaking to you guys. I got some parts in for my Audi S3 that I got almost a year ago, so I figured I'd throw together a little video while I had some time today of me installing those pieces. So here they are. Got some carbon fiber interior panel pieces for the inside. I'm not sure if these ones, which go kind of in the door panel area, I'm not sure if I'm going to put these in today, just because they have this kind of cup section here that the car doesn't actually have. My guess is that it was just easier for them when making those panels to include that in the mold. So I'm going to try to get those trimmed down. That way they have the full pass through. My worry is just that when I go to close the door, pulling on that area where the handle is, that over time the tape will kind of loosen up and rip it out, and so I don't want to have any issues with that. So I'm going to try to do that first. So I'm going to bring this all downstairs into my garage, get the car all ready, and then we'll go over the install. Okay, so this is my 2016 Audi S3. It is a Premium Plus line with the black optics, which means that it also comes with the mag ride. Right now, this car is basically completely stock. The only thing done to it is it does have an APR Stage 1 tune. I do have this AWE switch path exhaust for it. It's just a catback section, non-resonated. The car also right now does have the factory resonator delete, so it does sound good, but I want it to be a little bit louder. Nothing too crazy, which is why I went with the switch path. I did find that used, so it is already pre-assembled, which is going to make it really nice. Basically just clamp at there, and then one where it meets the downpipe. But it does still maintain the factory valves. So with the different drive modes, it will still open and close the valves, which is nice, because closed it should sound very similar to the way it does now opened. So that's what I'm hoping for, at least. Then eventually I do plan to do a catless downpipe, so I can go stage 2 and probably do the pops and bangs. I know some people don't like it, but I like it. So today, the things that we're going to be doing, I showed you we have some carbon fiber panel pieces. They're going to basically be going over all of the silver trim on the inside here, along the dash, as well as the silver ring around the door handle and on the doors. The panels that I do have that I was talking about, I'm probably not going to put in today, go like kind of in here, so it goes around the window and on this inner plastic piece. But as you can see, there is a pass straight through here, but the piece has a cup that hangs down. It doesn't really look bad. I'm just worried that over time, from pulling the door closed, like I said earlier, it's gonna rip out. It's just held in by double-sided tape. So to avoid that, I'm basically just gonna go to the body shop that I handle and see if you can kind of take a thing, Dremel to it or something, and kind of trim that cup out. And then I'll sand it smooth again, and if need to, I'll spray a little bit clear. I do also have a piece coming for the center console here, because for some reason, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on video because it's kind of dark, but this piece is smooth plastic, but then the piece on the side here and here is almost like a textured wood, and I don't know why they did that, because it's only on that section. Nowhere else inside the car has that. Everywhere else is just smooth black plastic. So I have a carbon fiber panel coming for that as well, which will basically eliminate that. I still have no idea why Audi decided to do that. So the first step is to wipe everything down, make sure the surface is clean, so that way everything will stick properly. It is double-sided tape, kind of like a 3M that a lot of manufacturers use from the factory. It comes with alcohol wipes to do this, but I am just going to use some cleaner I have instead. Alcohol is kind of not really necessary, so this is just some pre-mixed chemical guys nonsense. It's a colorless, odorless, kind of all-purpose cleaner. I do have an interior cleaner as well. But for this will be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead, wipe this all down, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this piece. This is kind of the easiest one for me to show you guys. It's also one of the biggest. So I'm just gonna take the nonsense, spray some on the towel, and kind of just wipe the area down. Just making sure that it's nice and clean. The inside is already pretty clean, but just want to make sure basically that it's smooth. There's nothing raised. That way the piece will sit flush. And then once that's done, basically here's the piece. It's just double-sided tape. So you will just peel back the red, and then it just sticks on. So kind of just get that in place, and then kind of just press, hold for about 20 seconds. And that's basically it. So now that is secured. Check the finish. Fits really well. These parts are all from China, so I think they're all basically probably from the same mold. The only difference might be slightly in the coloring and the weave of the pattern. I did get all of these except for the center console piece from the same company. That way I could try to make sure that they mostly matched. For some reason this company didn't make the center console piece with the push to start option, so I had to get that one panel from a different company. I did also get these blue rings for the vents as well. I'll include a link to all this stuff in the description of the video for you guys. But basically these went on the same way. These are like an anodized aluminum kind of material. So it seems like the sun, even with tinted windows, is starting to slightly alter the color of these, but these have been on here for almost a year, so they're holding up really well. The blue is slightly different than my car, but being on the inside, you don't really notice it. So once these fade more over time, I may either just order another set or have the shop near me kind of paint these the actual color of the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and move along and do the other panels, so I'll show you guys that. Okay, as you guys can see, I have this door panel done. So here's where the silver strip was, and then around the door handle. This piece was a little more challenging, just because this is more of like a rubbery, so it's a little flexible. So to get it to fit, I did notice sometimes like in the top here, you have to kind of like press a little bit more. If you are having this issue, one thing you can do is to heat up the double-sided tape a little bit, and that'll help soften it a little bit. Don't go too much because you don't want to crack the piece or melt the tape, but this will help as you're kind of pressing it in. It'll be softer, so it'll help it sit more flush if you're having an issue with that. But overall, it does look pretty good. These are slightly shinier, and the weave of the silver is a little bit brighter than this, but overall I think they go really well with each other. So I'm gonna move along, do all the other panels on the doors, and then when I get to the knee kick plates, I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so I have all of the door panel pieces on. The only piece left I have is the kind of the knee plate where your knee would hit on the sides. So I'll give you guys a look. So here's how they look all on. One thing I did notice that is when you're putting these on, if you line it up from one end to the other and start with the top side in first, that way you don't see any gapping there, because you want it to line there. The bottom, no one's gonna ever really see from underneath here. So as long as the top edge is lined up properly, then it won't really look that bad. They all fit very well from what I've found. These are kind of a little more, because they're not solid like these, they're flexible. So you kind of have to like work from one corner over and then down, and then kind of reposition this corner, and then maybe do some final tweaking for the edges leading up to the secondary corner. Then you also have to press them down a little bit more before they're flush. Nothing too bad. Yeah, they fit pretty good. And then there's dash panel, so there's the long strip here. There's a small, you can't really see it, but there's a small one in there as well as on this side of the drivers. So now I have these, which go, I'm gonna grab a light for you guys. So these kind of go on this panel here, kind of where your knee would hit if you had someone sitting there. So these will be a nice add-on, especially once I get the center piece. Because you can kind of see more what I was talking about, how the piece on the left top here is smooth plastic, and then for some reason this panel here around the cup holders and then down this strip are like a textured. I have no idea why, because there's nothing else in there. Everything else in the car that's black is kind of this black plastic. So I'll get this set up and I'll throw this plate on. This side on. I think overall these pieces here actually have the best carbon fiber look to them. The contrast between the weave and the black and like the gray silver tones is definitely the best, and they're also the shiniest. Like the other ones are kind of a little bit darker, but I mean in the light they are very similar. As it should be, because they're all from the same company. The only thing I noticed is here, the gap here is a little off, but I think once the center console piece is on, that'll help fill that in. And then the edge here is supposed to be like that because that does a separate panel. I'm probably gonna have to vinyl wrap those. I don't think they make a piece that goes on the inside. At least I couldn't find it. I know that people have just vinyl wrapped them in the past. So I'm gonna get ahead, throw the other side on. Okay, I just finished up the final pieces here. So I did the side panel here and here. Here's a better look at the interior trim. So it's the piece there, the piece there. Here's kind of a look at the blue pieces on the vents. I think these made a huge difference over the black after seeing them without the blue rings. I can't really, it just looks kind of like it's missing something now to me. And then here's the door panel. You got the piece there and around the handle. They do make pieces that go kind of in here on the backing, but I don't really think it needs those. I was basically just trying to get rid of some of the silver trim. So I'm gonna leave the steering wheel alone. Eventually I may do, they make the thin black around in carbon fiber, but I believe that you need to get in like official carbon fiber. And so for that piece is gonna be very, very expensive. I think that piece alone is like $300. And it's a pretty small piece, so I'll probably leave that. And then basically you just have the silver on the vents. I'm gonna leave this kind of around the trim there and around the climate controls. They make a piece too as well for the shifter knob, but that's leather, so I think I'm gonna leave that alone to kind of match with the steering wheel, at least until this gets destroyed, which will probably take a while to take good care of my vehicles. I am gonna leave around the shifter here where it has like kind of like what gear you're in. This piece they do make in it, but I'm gonna leave that and just do the center console piece. They also do back here around this piece here, but that's like it's like a textured rubber, kind of the same as like what the dash is made out of. And so for that, I'm just gonna leave that alone. I was kind of only trying to cover up the black plastic as well as the silver, just the black plastic kind of give it an upgraded look. And then the silver pieces, a lot of the ones that I did like on the dash and on the doors, the main panel pieces on the RS3, that's actually an option for like a carbon fiber package for the interior. So I figured that kind of gives it like a little bit of an upgraded look. Like I said before, I will include a link in the description to all of these pieces. I got them all off of AliExpress. So they are coming from China. So they will take a while. I believe the vents pieces here, these took about 2 weeks, I think, to come in. And then all of the carbon fiber bits took about the same. I think the center console piece, by the time that comes in, will probably be more like the 3 weeks. Typically anything from China, you can probably expect 2 to 4 weeks on average. But I mean, it could take 2-3 months, I guess. Everything from China seems to move slower, so it takes a while to get over here, and then once it does, I've had items before in the past that kind of get held at their first US location. It's like a sorting facility where they kind of it has to go through customs check to make sure that you're not importing anything illegal, and that process can take some time. I've had things sit there for like a week or two before, and then after that, it's usually within a few days. The closest one to me is typically New York to New Hampshire, so it's only a few states over, so that doesn't usually take long. Yeah, so that's about it for this video. For future videos, I will do a lot more with this vehicle, as well as I have a GTI that's away for storage in the winter. So once the warmer weather comes around and it's not snowing, that'll come out, and I'll do kind of a more in-depth look into each of these cars and kind of what I've done so far, as well as future plans. As well as with nicer weather, I plan to do some skateboarding stuff, especially during the winter now with harsher weather. I'll probably do some photography stuff, maybe some minor tutorials and stuff. I do have a couple photo shoots set up that I want to do with this car, as well as my buddy. He has a Fiat 500, so expect to see some stuff for that in the future. As well as the sunroof switch in this car, decided about 5 or 6 months after I bought it. I got it about a year ago. It was March, I believe, March or April. The switch stopped working, so I do have a new one of those, so I will make a video for that. I don't know if that's a common thing to go on these, but I do know anytime you have a sunroof, obviously if it stops working, that sucks, because obviously you picked the option to have a sunroof for a reason. So when I go to do that, I will make a video for that. It's very straightforward. So until next time, stay tuned. Many more videos to come, especially within to the new year. If you like this video and want to make sure that you see future ones, please make sure to subscribe down below and click the bell. Since YouTube decides to not notify people of uploads, I have many people who I've been subscribed to that upload a video, and because I follow them on Instagram or somewhere else, I get the notification and then I go to their channel and for some reason it didn't tell me, or it even unsubscribed me from them. So make sure to click the subscribe button, hit the bell, and if you did like the video, also please make sure to give the video a thumbs up and comment down below of anything you maybe want to see in the future with these. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.